guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and it is almost December. It is almost December, which means it is time for me to be doing another Knives Choose My TBR for the last time this year. And I'm changing things up a little bit once again. So I failed without a doubt last month with my reading. I read to completion one book, and that was the mood read. I read Expiration Dates by Rebecca Surley, and I started and DNF'd the Book of Hidden Wonders by Polly Crosby, and DNF'd that one at like 80 pages. So that was all I ended up reading for November's TBR, but seeing as it's December and I have other plans, I am not going to be doing any kind of a punishment or anything like that. We're just going to kind of start with a clean slate this month once again. And I have talked a little bit in my vlogs. If you who haven't watched my vlogs, please feel free to check those out if you are so inclined. But I have talked a little bit in my vlogs about this winter binger bingo that my sister and I are putting together. We are trying it out just between the two of us this year, but we would like to be able to get it ready to share with you guys for next year if you guys are interested. And once again, another bingo board. But this one it's been a lot of fun coming up with this. I was on the phone with my sister for like 5 hours figuring out all the prompts and the everything with this. So I'm calling it our Winter Binger Bingo. And it is a 6x6 bingo board with the four corners and the four in the center being movies rather than books, and just kind of give ourselves a little bit of a break, a little bit of a free pass, and the rest of them are all book prompts. Now we try to make these broad enough book prompts that you don't particularly have to read any specific genre, there we go. You don't have to read any specific genre. Some of them are a little bit more romance-based or fantasy-based, but for the most part, we tried to make it pretty generic. And so what I decided to do, since her and I are trying it out this month, and I'm extremely excited about it, I put all of our prompts onto my little pie slices here. And that is what I'm going to be using to determine my TBR. So I'm hoping that with these books, I'm able to get through them fairly quickly and can do like multiple TBRs throughout the month that I'm kind of just adding on to try and get through all of these bingo prompts. Our goal with this is basically to read books off of our TBR, and for each bingo you get, you can buy another book. That was kind of our goal with this, was trying to read stuff that's on our TBR, but not limiting ourselves to not buying anything. So that was kind of what we talked about. So the movies that we have on here, if you do want to try and go along with this with us, I can always put a picture up on here if you would like to have it as well. I can always upload a picture or figure out how to do that. Our movies are ones that we decided are ones that we personally in our families watch each year and are pretty classic for our houses. So you could change up movies if you wanted to do this with us. But the first movie that we have is Eloise at Christmas Time. We have Miracle on 34th Street, A Christmas Story, White Christmas, The Holiday, The Homecoming, The Waltons' Homecoming, Elf, and The Santa Claus. So those are movies that pretty much we watch every single year, and so we thought that it'd be pretty easy to fit those in wherever and be able to read those, or be able to watch those, sorry, at some point during the month. And with this, we're also, I forgot to mention, that we're planning on making this a 2-month bingo readathon. So it will start on December 1st and it will go through January 31st. So I am planning on doing this not just this month, but January as well, to try and get as many of these as possible. Because they are all different prompts for different squares on the board, I am not doubling up on any prompts or anything like that, but I do have the movies mixed in with these as well. So like right here, I have Watch A Christmas Story. And so I have these mixed in as well, kind of giving myself a break for my TBR, as well as just marking things off of the bingo board. So I'm really excited about it. And like I said, I'm going to start with these 6 throws, and I'm going to start with these 6 throws, and hopefully I will finish some of these quickly enough that I can throw again throughout the month and add more onto my TBR to try and get through more of this bingo board. So with that all being said, I will get into my first throw. Okay, so the first prompt that I got is Winter Wonderland, and this prompt is a book with winter in the title. And so for this prompt, I'm going to be choosing Wolf Winter by Cecilia Ekbach. This one is kind of an old-timey mystery thriller that I picked up secondhand, and I thought it sounded really interesting, and still have yet to pick it up. So this one is set in 1717 in Sweden. They arrive in the Swedish Lapland from their native Finland, hoping to forget traumas of their past and put down new roots in this harsh but beautiful land. But then, while herding the family's goats on the mountain, the main girl, Frederica, happens upon the mutilated body of one of their neighbors. And so they try to play it off like it's wolves, but there's things that just don't set right. And so it's looking into that. So I don't know a ton about this. I don't know if I'm going to love it or not. My 2 options for this were Wolf Winter or A Winter's Promise, but that one is a YA fantasy, and I didn't want to get a ton of fantasy on here. I want to pick those up if I want to, but I don't want to push myself too much by doing too many of one genre. So I am going to go with Wolf Winter. Hopefully it's one that I enjoy. Alright, for my next throw, I got Watch The Homecoming. Now, the Waltons' Homecoming is one that my dad got my sister and I hooked on when we were little kids, and it's just always such a good, heartwarming, feel-good movie. And it's actually one that I started the tradition a handful of years ago that we, in our house, always watch The Homecoming on Christmas Eve. So that one will be pretty easy to do. Because every Christmas Eve, we always sit down and watch The Homecoming together. And so I don't think that'll be any different this year, so it should be pretty easy to get that one in. Prompt that I got is to watch The Santa Claus, and of course Tim Allen in The Santa Claus. It is a classic 90s Christmas movie, and it's one that I've watched for my entire life and one of my favorites of the holiday season. I absolutely love that movie. I love watching that one. The first 2 I like, the third one I did not like and haven't really watched it in a very, very long time. I saw that one in theaters when I was a kid, and I hated it so much. So, I do have the first one on here. I do, like I said, I own the second one as well, but I do want to watch The Santa Claus. I don't know when I'm gonna watch it, but it's one I can watch with my kids. It's super fun, as always, and I love that movie. So, that one will be really easy to fit in. Okay, so the next one that I have is Yule Ball. And this one is a book that is set in a different era. And so for that one, I decided to go with Last Christmas in Paris. This is by Hazel Gaynor and Heather Webb. This one is basically about, well, here it says, Christmas time in Paris. Thomas Harding travels to the City of Lights, a packet of cherished letters in hand, letters that tell a story of love and loss, friendship and family, and the innocent hopes of a generation devastated by war. As he reads the letters one more time, Tom is transported back to 1914 in the sunlit August day when Evie Elliott waves goodbye to him and her brother Will as they head to the Western Front. All believe the war will be over by Christmas, when the trio plan to reunite and celebrate the holiday among the romantic cafes of Paris. But it is not to be. As months slip into years, Tom and Evie's lives become bound together by the letters and telegrams, notes and stories that travel between them from the front line in France to a quiet suburb of London. But as their friendship flourishes, there is far more than words held between the pages of Tom and Evie's letters. Now, decades later, Thomas finds himself once again in his beloved Paris, determined to fulfill a last promise and to lay to rest the ghosts of the past. But one final letter is waiting for him. So I think it's going to be kind of heartbreaking and heartwarming all in one. And I just think it's going to be really interesting. It is blurbed by Kate Quinn on the front. It says, humor, love, tragedy, and hope make for a moving, uplifting read, a winner. So it's got a lot of letters and whatnot inside of it. So I think it's going to be a fairly quick read. And hopefully it's one that I enjoy. I picked this one up at a little free library last year and never got to it. So I'm very excited to try it out with this holiday season. So the next one that I got is Santa's Little Helper, and for that one, it is to read a middle grade book. And so for that one, I am going to be reading The Christmas Pig by J.K. Rowling. I have tried to read some of her adult fiction books and never really got into them, but of course, I absolutely love all the Harry Potter books. I am currently rereading those right now, as most of you probably already know. But I am currently rereading Harry Potter, but I'm going to throw in The Christmas Pig as well. I'm so excited to try this one. Her middle grade is just, I think her middle grade's where it's at. So it says, Jack loves his childhood toy, Dirt Pig, DP. Has always been there for him through good and bad until one Christmas Eve something terrible happens. DP is lost. But Christmas Eve is a night for miracles and lost causes, a night when all things can come to life, even toys. So Jack and the Christmas Pig, DP's irritating replacement, embark on a breathtaking journey through the magical land of the lost. With the help of a talking lunchbox, a brave compass, and a winged thing called Hope, they set out to rescue the best friend Jack has ever known from the terrifying, toy-crunching loser. From one of the world's greatest storytellers comes this heartwarming, page-turning adventure about one child's love for his most treasured thing and how far he will go to find it. With dazzling illustrations from renowned artist Jim Field, The Christmas Pig is destined to become a beloved classic for the whole family. So it sounds like it's going to be really cute, and like I said, it is middle grade, and it's J.K. Rowling, so I'm very excited to try this one out. The next prompt that I got is a snow globe, and the prompt for this one is to shake it up, read something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone. So for this one, I'm going to be reading The Santa Suit by Mary Kate Andrews. This one is kind of a cozy mystery, which I like mysteries, I like thrillers, I like romance, I like all that stuff. But I don't read a lot of cozy mysteries. I don't get into a ton of those. So this one, it says, "'Tis the season for holiday cheer and small town secrets. When newly divorced Ivy Perkins buys an old farmhouse sight unseen, she's definitely looking for a change in her life. The farmhouse, called the Four Roses, is a labor of love, but Ivy didn't bargain for just how much labor it entailed. The previous family left so much furniture and junk that it's a full-time job sorting through it. At the top of a closet, Ivy finds an old Santa suit, beautifully made and decades old. In the pocket, there's a note written in a childish hand. It's from a little girl who had one Christmas wish, and that was for her father to return home from the war. This discovery sets Ivy off on a mission. Who wrote the note? Did the man ever come home? What mysteries did the Rose family hold? Ivy's quest draws her into the community at a time when all she wants is to be left alone to nurse her wounds. But the magic of Christmas makes miracles happen, and Ivy might find more than she ever thought possible. A welcoming town, a family reunited, a mystery solved, and a second chance at love." So it sounds really cute. I've seen her books everywhere, especially with the holidays, and I've never tried any of them, so I really wanted to try and fit this one in. It's also extremely short, so I'm very curious to see how this one plays out, and it kind of sounds like a Hallmark plot to me, and I'm just really curious about it, so I'm excited to try this one. And last but not least, I have the Wildlings. And for this one, it is to read a book with Viking or Norse aspects, Nordic aspects to it. So for the book that I will be reading for that, I was really torn between Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne and this one, and I think I'm going to go with this one because I want to give my husband a chance to read Fury of the Gods first, since that's really his series that he absolutely loves. But I'm going to be reading A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I am so beyond excited for this book. I have heard good things about it, and it just sounds so interesting, and I can't wait. So this book, it says, a shield maiden blessed by the gods battles to unite a nation under a power-hungry king while fighting her growing desire for his fiery son in this Norse-inspired fantasy romance. Bound in an unwanted marriage, Freya spends her days gutting fish but dreams of becoming a warrior and of putting an axe in her boorish husband's back. Freya's dreams abruptly become reality when her husband betrays her to the regent Jarl, landing her in a fight to the death against his son Bjorn. To survive, Freya is forced to reveal her deepest secret. She possesses a drop of a goddess's blood, which makes her a shield maiden with magic capable of repelling any attack, and it's been foretold that such magic will unite the fractured nation of Skaland beneath the one who controls the shield maiden's fate. Believing he's destined to rule Skaland as king, the fanatical Jarl binds Freya with a blood oath and orders Bjorn to protect her from their enemies. Desperate to prove her strength, Freya must train to fight and learn to control her magic, all while facing perilous tests set by the gods. The greatest test of all, however, may be resisting her forbidden attraction to Bjorn. If Freya succumbs to her lust for the charming and fierce warrior, she risks not only her own destiny, but the fate of all the people she is sworn to protect. So it sounds really, really good, and I'm just really hoping that it's going to be not just romance, but definitely a lot with the fantasy plot and the world building and whatnot. Because I don't tend to gravitate towards romantasy books or like fantasy romance books. So I'm really curious about it, and I really want to try it, and I absolutely love this book. This one doesn't have the pretty silvery pages, but that's okay. But I really like that edition of it. But I am super excited to pick this one up, and hopefully I love it as much as I hope I will. So to start out December, I will be trying to read these 5 books and watching those 2 movies. And like I said, I am really, really hoping that I could get through these fairly quickly and be able to come back with a TBR like maybe halfway through the month to choose some more prompts. That's what I'm hoping for. That is my goal. It might just end up being like an ongoing TBR thing throughout the next 2 months, December and January, for this bingo, because I want to try and get as many bingos as I possibly can. So I am very excited about this. Have you read any of these books? What are your thoughts? And which ones are you excited to see me read and see what my thoughts are? If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe down below, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.